What works for me doesn't necessarily work for the next person or the next singer.
Did you discover from him, through him?
Discovered from him generally how to really get the body completely in tune with the voice. It's all organically structured. So there's this thing that he uses called the vocal stress release. And it's all about basically getting your body completely loose and limber so that your body is in no way has any or holds any type of tension. And the less tension you have, the more in sync and the much more relaxed you are and the much more cooperative everything is. So your whole complete being is cooperative at that point. And then there's exercises, there's vocal exercises that he's shown me, you know, the falsetto slide and just these humming and these buzzing and the lip bubbles and stuff that brings myself to a point where I'm, you know, in a singing voice position. And then at the end of the show, it's just as important to cool down, and he's shown me that, a whole cooling down process that brings the voice from a singing position into a speaking position, which eliminates any possibility of vocal fatigue. So all these things have been extremely invaluable to me.
But is for you still adrenaline involved in some
way?
Oh
yeah, I mean, you gotta, I jog every day. I jog 5 kilometers a day to keep myself in shape. I think the cardiovascular is imperative if you want to be able to really give all that you can actually give as a singer. So all these methods, all these tools have allowed me, I think, to rise myself much further and become much more efficient as a singer, more so than I was in the past, where it was just all gut and instinct and just go out there and, you know, give it all. And so I think, you know, over the years, I mean, even since since I was 22, I studied a little bit here. And then I have a pocket of studying here, and then a pocket of studying here. So you kind of gather and you take from it what you know works for you. What works for me doesn't necessarily work for the next person or the next singer. But you realize what you are able to really latch on to, that you can actually feel its effects. And that's what you go with. That's where you continue that path, you know.
Yeah, that's for the technical part of the singing. Have you also experienced, maybe for the last Dream Theater album, there's a big amount of personality put into it by lyrics, maybe by Mike also, the song of
well, I mean,
father. You know, when you have to sing a song like that is very personal to him, how do you prepare for that to put the message?
Well, ultimately it has to become me, right? So the way that I get to that point is that, you know, I first and foremost read the lyric, I interpret it for what it says to me, and then I sit down with the lyricist, that be, and I ask them for a literal interpretation. I take that literal interpretation, go away with it, and then I take all of this information and I make it become something that I can relate to emotionally, and then it becomes sincere. It has to be me. At the end of it all, it has to be something that I can totally relate to, and then it has to be, you know, obviously expressed and conveyed in a sincere light.
But can you put it into yourself, because does it help that you know the people in
I lost my father,
well,
so I was able to totally get into that headspace. You know, when John Petrucci's talking about A Nightmare to Remember being in an accident with his family. Well, I've been in a car accident before. I can relate. You know, it's not something that I have to literally have gone through or experienced. It's something maybe that I've just observed, or something that I've read in literature that I can relate to, that I can, as much as possible without actually experiencing it, personally experiencing it, that I can interpret to say something to me, to strike a chord with me, so that it becomes me.